Ladies and gentlemen, as we are about to begin, please be ready and make sure that you are muted to avoid any distraction during the session. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nur Aisha Shafika and I'll be your host for tonight. On the behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to welcome all of you here. Before we begin, I would like to remind all the guests and committees to always stay muted unless speaking is needed and to not meddle with the Microsoft Teams features. We suggest representatives from each party to open their webcam with their party's backdrop and use devices such as earphones or headphones. This is to ensure that everyone here tonight will get the best experience of the session. Without any further delay, I would like to invite Muhammad Jalaluddin for the Dua recitation. Please welcome.
إلى حضرة النبي المصطفى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه كرام الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نستعين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Ya Allah, Ya Rahim, praise be to God, the Lord of the worlds. Peace and blessings be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions and for those who follow his example till the judgment day. Allahumma ya Allah, on this blessing night, in conjunction with the Manifesto Night 2022, we beseech thee and grateful towards you in favor of all the infinite blessings to us, your humble servant, to live in safe and prosperous life. We seek your blessing for a flawless progress of this event from the beginning till the end. We seek your guidance to steer clear of event that would detrimental the progress of this event. Ya Latif, Ya Rahman, please bless us with your tawfiq and hidayah. Please guide University Technology Petronas to greatness, peace, glory and prosperity in this world and hereafter. Make us a responsible intellectual. Granted us with a valuable knowledge that will be beneficial to mankind in order to gain your mandatillah. Make us your righteous servant that followed your commands and neglect the sinful act. Please forgive us for our wrongdoing. Rabbana 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 atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wasallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum.
Thank you, Jalal. May our event be full of blessings. Today is a very important day for all of us as the students of University Technology Petronas, UTP, as today we will listen to speeches of hopes and promises from our future leaders. Before we get started, I would like to briefly explain the flow of this debate session. Firstly, the person in charge from each party will play a video with duration from 30 seconds to 1 minute regarding each party manifesto before the presentation starts. Each party will be given 20 minutes to give their presentation on their manifestos. The timekeeper will ring after 15 minutes. Once the 20 minutes has ended, the timekeeper will ring again and the MC will inform that the session has ended. Lastly, there will be 10 minutes of Q&A session after the presentation ends. The audience is allowed to ask any questions. Without any further delay, let's invite the first party, which is SPP, to start presenting their manifesto. Please welcome.
Okay, thank you, Aisha. So, firstly, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Alif Malik, and I am currently taking my first year, third semester, taking chemical engineering. And I would like Nikita to introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nikita Azua. I'm in mechanical engineering, first year, third semester, and I'd like to thank everyone for being here today. Now I'll pass it back to Alif Malik.
Okay, thank you, Nikita. Okay, so let us begin with our manifesto. I will be explaining, and also I would like everyone to feel with me with this manifesto. So let us move on to our first manifesto. Before that, I would like to engage with you all first. We understand that all of us are in constant pressure right now. We are given a whole bunch of assignments, a whole lot of lab reports. I understand, we understand, as we ourselves are just like you. I myself was given a whole bunch of assignments that was due the same week itself. We thought that once we're done with one assignment, we could rest. But no, the next assignment comes in. All of us are stressed, pressured, and depressed. Maybe, just maybe lah. The lecturers thought that since it's online, we have all the time in the world. But no, we have our own life, we have other commitments too with us. They can't steal that from us. And talking about stealing, our weekends, the time for us and us only, snatched from us with classes, quizzes, and tests. All of this has to stop. I feel the pressure, and we feel the pressure. We want this to end. And at this worrying time, we were announced with physical examination. And we're scared, I'm scared, all of us are. And we hear your problems. In fact, all of this is not only faced by us, but other universities are also facing the same thing. We hear you and will take action. And with that, I would like to announce our first manifesto, which is academic leniency. With this manifesto, we will strive so that there will be no classes, quizzes, nor tests during our weekend, as that time is only for us, and we have to take a break eventually, right? So we will also reduce the amount of workload given to us, as this amount of workload was not there before the pandemic. But after the pandemic, we were given a whole bunch of workload. And next, EA. I am sure that every one of us, most of us want EA back. But there are also some of us that want physical examination, and we hear you. We will bring EA back only when the number of daily cases in this country and also in UTP itself is worrying. Right now, it is very, very, very worrying, and the situation is gone from bad to worse also in our country. So we will do everything we can to get EA back. But once everything has come down, inshallah, we'll go back to physical examination. As right now, it's the sake of our safety, our own safety. And we truly hope with this manifesto, we'll put an end to all our pressure, stress, and depression. Help all of us be safe. Okay, so that is our first manifesto for tonight. Next, I would be talking about our second manifesto. But first, let us recall the recent natural disaster which occurred in our country. The flood in KL and Pahang, and also the thunderstorm that have came to UTP a few days back. The flood in Pahang and KL have destroyed hundreds of houses. Among them are victims from UTP students itself. We hear those students, and we provided aid and volunteers to help at that time. But let me ask you something. Is that we might not be in your shoes, but we feel you. Those who were the victims, you can't join your classes, you're stressed. And what is more frustrating for me is that we can't help you the way we want to. The budget to help these students isn't there in CSE or anywhere. My own friend was also a victim of the flood. He had to sleep in his car. There's a lot of damages to his home and his belongings. And what's sad for me is that I can't help him. The saddest part is that the place where we call our second home, UTP, didn't do anything to help him at that time. We hear you, and we are going to take this into our hand. We've talked to Prof. Hisham, our Deputy Vice Chancellor, and he agreed to this as well. With that, I would like our second manifesto, Natural Disaster Aid. We aim to create a special budget to help the students that is affected by any sort of disaster. This budget will be allocated to the management, budget created by management. Apologize for that. No matter where they are, where they came from, we promise to help them in any sort of situation. You might wonder why there isn't a financial aid to help students that is less fortunate in our manifesto. Yes, we hear those students, but those students have already been receiving help from TAZU, YUTP, and CSE. So that's why we will also monitor TAZU, YUTP, but it is not in our manifesto. But there is no allocated budget for the victims of natural disaster or any sort of disaster. Besides that, we will also put separate allocation in our SRC account, where we will try to generate income and allocate that to the victims. We feel your sorrow, and it's time for action. With this manifesto, we are committed to helping every student in UTP. And that is our second manifesto. Next is our third manifesto. This manifesto is one of the recent situation where students are worried. I am sure that at this current situation in UTP itself, everyone is worried, scared, and furious. A whole lot of decisions were made for us. Our voice is not heard. We can shout, we can scream, but no one is listening. A bunch of information was hidden from us. And let me ask you, do you know the current situation in UTP? Do you know the number of cases in UTP? Anyone? You guys know? No. Even me, myself, don't know about this. The courts are closed. Futsal court, basketball court, netball courts, everything is closed. And we're still implementing curfew. Dine-in is not allowed. And all this has been decided for us with no explanation. No discussion was made with us. No discussion was made with the SRC. We feel the pain you're in. And the students that is positive or close contact, I know. that you guys have to move into the isolation, even though you're sick, you're tired, but you have to move without any sort of assistance. And yes, I understand, we understand that we must isolate you immediately, but there should be some help given to you. They don't feel the pain you're in. Even KKM provides ambulance to transport patient, but there's no assistance given to you. And the recent incident of V5G students that must move to V5K within 2 days, and that was on weekdays as well, if I'm not mistaken. And I understand you must move immediately, as it is very dangerous at this current situation here. But all we ask for is assistance. You're sick, you're tired, but where's the help that you need? So with that being said, I would like to announce our third manifesto, which is crisis handling. We have discussed this with our Deputy Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, Prof. Hisham, and he has agreed to this as well. With this manifesto, we want to ensure that all the crises UTP is facing, there must be a student representative to join the discussion. This is so that all the decision UTP is making will know the reason, and we can give our suggestion as well. We'll be in a discussion rather than UTP making extremely important decision themselves. And this is extremely important because we are closer to you students rather than the management. So in this way, the voice of students will be heard by the management. Besides that, we also want UTP to be more transparent with us. Because we're adults, even the country itself is giving out the data of how many positive cases a day. So why not UTP do it the same? Yes, we are adults, so they should treat us like adults. And we are also the stakeholders of UTP. But why are we shut out? This has to end. And so with this manifesto, we will ensure that the decisions made will benefit both the students and UTP itself. We feel your pain and let us help us stop this from happening again in the future. And that is our third manifesto. Next is our fourth manifesto. Okay, so we are a government-linked university, and there are other universities out just same like us. For example, I give you is MMU, UniKL, and Unitan. And this world is big, but we're living in the same circle. And we should have more connections outside. And let me ask you, is our connection and networking are wide enough? When was the last time a club held an event which involves other university? We have no connections with other university. Yes, we have connection, but we students don't connect with them. That's the thing here. Me, myself, the only event that I've joined with other university was when the SRC had a benchmark with the university. And this is an opportunity which we have thrown away. So without connections, what are we? With that, I would like to announce our fourth manifesto, Reuniting Government-Linked University. With this manifesto, we are dedicated to reunite with all government-linked universities. By reuniting, it will open a door, opportunities for clubs and students to expand their connection and expand their networking. We can learn on how the other universities handle their issues, and this will improve ourselves as well. With this manifesto, we are dedicated to broaden your connections, which will lead to a great opportunity in the greater future. And we all are deprived of opportunity. So this manifesto will give every single student an opportunity they want. Thank you, and I pass it to Nikita as well.
As we're all aware, there are many UTP students who already have their own businesses, and many who have ambitions to start one. In fact, I myself have considered it before as well. Unfortunately, it isn't the easiest feat to achieve, we must admit. The questions that come in would be, how do we begin? Who could we go to for help? Will my idea even work? Well, this manifesto will answer all of your doubts. With our fifth manifesto, entrepreneurial support, we will assist you and your aspiring business endeavors because there is no better day than to start than today. Now, you may think, this manifesto targets such a minority of UTP students, but trust me, it's deeper than that. Forming a business does not only help the entrepreneurs, but it will also come hand in hand in brightening the community. This will allow students to make new connections, new bonds, adopt new skills, and even ease financial burdens. We, SPP, as students, understand that even 1 cent can in time make a whole difference to someone's life. With this manifesto, V2 will be used as a marketplace for students during the weekends, giving you the opportunity to take your first steps to create something big, something bigger than yourself, something bigger than us. And the best thing about this is that there will be a supportive community right behind you every step of the way. On top of this, we aim to aid you in any financing you needed for your ventures. Inevitably, before your breakthrough, much has to be invested. But worry not, we are here to help. We will give you a hand for your seed funding, and you can finally achieve what you've always strived for. And with that, what are you waiting for? Do not delay your aspirations anymore. Start while you can. There is no better day than today. And we, SPP, SRC, will give you the day you want. Next, for our sixth manifesto. Malaysia's pollution has been and still is majorly affecting the country and its people. The world is doing all it can to revive the earth. And what are we, UTP, doing about it? It's time to take a step into the future, and that future is green. With our sixth manifesto, Eco-Friendly Campus Manifesto, we will aim to create a more sustainable and cleaner environment within UTP. As of now, UTP is one of Malaysia's top-rated universities. With advanced technologies that we have right now, we can do a lot more to take care of our environment, to take care of our community, to take care of us. We are the first SRC, the first party to pledge for a greener, more environmental university. Which other university student councils do you know of that's done this? One small step will slowly turn into a huge revolution. Now, let me ask the audience, who here does not have a car? Personally, neither do I. And it's tiring, isn't it? Walking all over campus just to have to walk back to your village. We hear you. Hence why one aspect of this much needed manifesto is to provide a bicycle service open to all students. This does not only eliminate your transportation issues, but also promote an eco-friendly environment by providing a zero carbon alternative. To make our surroundings more sustainable, we want to decrease the plastic wastage within our community as well. And for this to happen, we, SPP, propose a discount for students who bring their own containers to cafes. Imagine just how much even you can save. You know, the PS5, the new guitar, in fact, anything you're saving up for will just be within reach. And just with that simple step, you'll be a part of our transformation. The final addition from this manifesto is recycling bins. Look around you, look around campus. How many have you recently seen? It's okay, neither have I. So take care of our environment. With this manifesto, we would like to propose to have more recycling bins. This will help pollution, energy wastage, and ultimately climate change. Once again, you will be a part of this crucial journey with us. The time has come for us to combat environmental issues. But to change, we have to change first. Remember, one small step will create a huge revolution. Now, moving on to our seventh manifesto. This is something we all go through. We wake up every morning, 5 times a week, to attend our classes. After your classes, you occupy your time completing a seemingly endless number of assignments. And on top of that, you have to study for a plethora of tests and quizzes. We're stressed and pressured throughout the entire week. The buildup of these emotions is not easy to combat. And understand, we are students ourselves. You fry your brains finding answers for your studies, waiting for the time you can finally take a break. to go relax with your friends or even just get some time alone. But once you do go get some rest, you go blank. Where can we release our stress here? Again, as I said, I'm the same, we're the same, we all need rest. Now, the question comes to mind. With so many facilities within UTP, there are many not being used to its full potential. Hence our final manifesto, the utilization of common rooms and study spaces. Currently, there are common rooms available for students. All villages have them. If you haven't noticed, it's because the rooms are practically abandoned. The only things left are lonely chairs and dancing tables. Why aren't these rooms being utilized? It's a waste. With this manifesto, we want to revamp these common rooms and give you a more conducive and comfortable area to unwind. We, the students, should have balanced lifestyles. One filled with fun and adventure, followed by prosperity and success. We want to excel while enjoying this journey. In order for us to focus, we also need to be comfortable. Recently, we've noticed there is a lack of comfortable study spaces for students to complete their work. The only two known are V5 Rubel and the 24/7 study space in Pocket C. Firstly, let me ask, who wants to walk all the way to Pocket C to study? It's far, and most importantly, even dangerous if you have no transport. It's inconvenient. UTP aims to create well-rounded students, but have no other spaces for us to practice this. We want you to get what you need, a conducive and comfortable environment for your studies and for your own rest and leisure time. Now with this manifesto, we ensure you will definitely get a university life you will remember. And for tonight, that is all for our manifestos. Thank you.
Thank you, SVP, for the insightful presentation just now. Now, we open the floor to the audience for the Q&A session. If you have a question for SVP, you may raise hand and unmute yourself.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Do I need to open my camera?
It's okay, no need.
It's okay, right?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, congrats to Mr. President and Miss Deputy President for the amazing manifestos. So I just have a few questions, just a few. First of all, is there any international students in your party?
Okay, thank you, Darwindran. So I am sad to say that there is no international student because we opened our recruitment drive, but there is no international student that applied for our recruitment drive.
Oh, you all have the recruitment drive. See,
Yeah.
because maybe it's my bad, I didn't get to see that.
I see.
And
okay.
actually, I should ask this question with varsity public VCC, VCP group party too. But it's okay. I'll ask you all first. May I get the list? May you guys share the list and what have you done for the past year since last year's election, which is, if I'm not mistaken, on the 3rd of February. So 3rd of February, SPB won. So your job start on 4th of February, and it already been a year. So may I get a list and if you could the proof of what you have done the past 1 year?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Darwindran. So we have achieved all our 7 manifesto. 6 of our manifesto were completed within the 6 months period. And the water dispenser was completed 2 months after because there was a delay from. And besides that, we also solved the parcel issue during the lockdown on June, if I'm not mistaken. I handled it myself. That was the time where UTP went into lockdown. I believe the whole country went into lockdown 1st June. At the moment, JNT wouldn't want to enter UTP. So the way we handle it is that first we provided a bus trip for students to collect their parcels at JNT office. We did that for 1 day. So students collected the parcels, and then JNT still don't want to enter UTP, and we had a discussion with the JNT manager, and then after that, after the discussion, we've come to a conclusion where JNT themselves have a lot of parcel for UTP, and the students also want their parcel. So we booked a room with RV, the V4 classroom. So we give out all the parcel there, and students got all their parcels within a day. And after that, we made an agreement with Kosiswa. So all the parcels right now has been given to Kosiswa, as all the parcels given to Kosiswa. And besides that, we also solve with other couriers itself, where all the parcels are moved to V format. And if for the manifesto, the 6th manifesto, you can also look into our SRC highlights for further achievement that we've done, and also stay tuned in our SPP Instagram, as we will post our achievement by tomorrow night. I hope that answer your question, Darwindra.
Yeah, thank you for the answer, but hopefully you could next time you could share that by WhatsApp, because most students like me, they don't know what parties have done. So we wanted to know that you already done the things that you say in the manifestos. And just one more question. Last year SPP won, right?
Yes.
Election of UTP. Since then, if I'm not mistaken, the president was Mr. Yap Wei Cheng.
Yes, Mr. Yap Wei Cheng. Yep.
Since then, have you ever traveled to B4 field, football field?
B4 football field?
Yes, have you been there?
Yes.
Did you notice any huge hole in the field?
That we did not know, as there is no report came to us. No students complain about it.
I said that last year. I put the report last year.
Sorry, Esa, for holding this question. But let me ask, did you create a UCS report on that?
No, because personally, to be honest with you, I did vote this last year, and to be honest, it's because one of the men, the president, Mr. Yap Wei Cheng himself, what an amazing man, what a wonderful man. He came directly when the manifestos in the WhatsApp group, Blue Team supporters. So when he put that, I WhatsApp to him, and personally, he WhatsApp to me. I was surprised by that. I haven't seen any president that surprised to the team members, that WhatsApp to the team members, So I told him what are the problems, and I also told about the class, classes where it will be normal classes, morning classes are being held at 8 a.m., 8 in the morning. And thankfully, I'm in the degree first year right now. And thankfully, all the classes are now 9 a.m. So it's a good thing. And one more thing, these 7 manifestos, right? From where you get this idea for the 7 manifestos? Is it from the students or?
Okay. So with this manifesto, we have discussed with our team, and also we did a quick survey amongst the students, and basically most of them want all this, and that's why we are giving this to the student. And we also, based on the 7 manifesto, we want something that we can achieve. We don't want to make false hopes for you guys. So that's why this 7 manifesto is this.
All right, I see. Thank you, Darwin. Move on to the next people who want to ask questions.
Thank you very much for the question.
Okay, thank you so much, Darwin.
Is there anyone who want to ask question for SPP? Okay, please welcome Muhammad Aidit bin Ghani to ask question for SPP.
Assalamualaikum and greetings. To my acquaintance, Alif Malik from SPP, I would like to ask you a question. But before I ask you a question, allow me to correct that any information regarding Kosiswa, actually our advisor is from Kosiswa itself. So in terms of credibility, I hope you take it as a reminder. But let's move forward for the question. All right, for the question, I want to ask you regarding the GLU. Wasn't you the assistant project director for the GLU of the last year? Yes, if it's correct, then what is the achievement of the GLU? And then from that GLU, are you sure it is an impactful event? Because GLU only consists of 4 universities. Why not contribute, like, why not collaborate with mahasiswa? Mahasiswa will consist of 100 and above of IPTS in Malaysia. Okay, that's my question, and please answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Aidit, for the question. Okay, so basically during our GLU event last tenure, that was the GLU Leadership Summit. It's basically an event where not the participants will just hear a sort of talk from the leaders. So basically for this manifesto, what we want is for us to collaborate with other universities as well, other GLUs. So the impact on the GLU Leadership Summit is not as big as it's going to be as with this manifesto. So that's why we are introducing this manifesto. And we want more GLUs to be collaborating with us so that the opportunity for students will be wider. As of that, GLU basically we it's more for SRC rather than the students itself. And also for your next question, can you repeat your second question,
may
please,
I
Mr.
know
Aidit?
what is the achievement? What is the achievement from the past GLU that you are the one of the committee, right? May I know the achievement from that event?
Yes, but at that time, our the achievement of the event is that we made that event is basically a leadership summit only. So there is nothing that collaborates other GLU with the students. So I was the APD for UTP, but I wasn't the APD for that GLU summit. So I was just handling UTP sahaja only. Okay, so
Okay.
what's your second question just now?
Yeah. My second question. Regarding like the GLU, right? And then why not you contribute with mahasiswa, where mahasiswa consists of 1,000 and above of IPTS among Malaysia?
Okay, thank you so much for that question, Aidit.
Not 1,000,
Okay.
hundreds.
Hundreds. Okay, thank you so much, Aidit, for that question. Yes, that is also in our current planning. As we have 1 year a term, right, becoming SRC, correct? 1 year. So the first month, we will be focused in GLU first, where consists of 4 universities only, other universities. So after that, we will also broaden the connections with other universities as well, with other IPTS first, then only we'll go to IPTA. But first, our main priority is for government-linked university, GLU, so that we can have a solid relationship with the GLU. And I believe GLU shares the same identity with us. So it's easier for us to collaborate with them first. And then after that, we'll move on to other universities as well. I truly hope that answers your question.
Allow me to correct, because you're not listed in the manifesto, and then you claim it as your plan to collaborate with mahasiswa later. Then how can in this presentation, like you just claim that in your planning, even though it's not stated in your manifesto?
Okay, thank you so much for that again, Aidit. Okay, so basically the first manifesto will the manifesto is for GLU only, right? So, but it is in our planning. So it's actually quite kind of hard for us to engage with hundreds of universities. If I understand that you were also a previous SRC member, and it was also hard for you guys to collaborate with other universities. That's why we are focused with 4 first. That's why we want to make the promise of 4, which we can achieve. We don't want to make false promises here. I hope that answers your question, Aidit.
Yeah, instead of just collaborate with like mahasiswa, there are like SUMA and like Sukan and so on competition that UTP can collaborate in that. Like why just focus on GLU, where GLU only consists of 4 universities only, and then why you want to focus on that, whereby you can go further with if you collaborate with mahasiswa and like Sukan and so on.
I understand. Yeah. But first, I would like to again tell you that we want to focus in 4 because it's easier to achieve, and also because it is a smaller group and it's better for us to integrate with them also. And also our pledge is to integrate GLU, and also we aim to do more networking with all the GLU as they are sharing the same experience as we are, where they are also hold with apa nama tu a mother company holding them, so they would share the same experience also, but we can gain more experience from them and also learn more with them. And also it's not just for SRC, it's for the whole student. So when we say whole student, it's gonna be easier to achieve for us with GLU, and also it is a more realistic for us to only focus on GLU first, because if you say you can focus in 100 of students, that is not realistic. It's gonna be very, very hard, and no, it's on the road to impossible.
Yeah,
Thank you. I hope that
I've had
answers.
a lot of time. I think I want to ask
I
you for
think.
an answer.
All right, thank
Okay,
you,
thank you so much,
Aidit.
I did.
Okay, so right now I will give to the opportunity to the last person to ask question. So I will invite Norman Mikael to ask question for SPP. Please welcome.
Hello, my name is Norman Mikael. Can you hear me?
Yes, Norman, loud, clear.
Right. So my question is regarding the academic leniency. I just have one question about it. Does this mean replacement classes are not going to be allowed during weekends as well?
Okay, thank you so much, Norman, for the question. And for this question, like my Norman and also everyone here, that in our academic leniency manifesto, we have also promised you guys to reduce the number of workload. So when I say reduce number of workload, meaning that there won't be as much workload as it is right now. So we believe that with this manifesto and also with the lesser number amount of workload, your weekdays won't be that packed. But this also will be decided by your lecturer also. And also, let me be clear here again, lecturer can decide, but it has to be in agreement of all the students in your class. I hope that answers your question, Norman. Thank you.
All right, I think that will be the end of Q&A section for SPP. I would like to remind to all the attendees, one attendee only allowed us one question for each party. Okay, next I will invite the second party, which is BCP, to present their manifestos. Please welcome.
Hello everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, so sure. Okay, so change. I would like to start with change before you have to
And I'm Tuan Muhammad Ismail Fizuddin bin Tuan Ismail, the President of the Varsity Civic Party, the VCP. And on behalf of VCP, we designed, created, and have proposed 7 attainable manifesto that serve the needs of the students. We know that students won't change, and our manifestos reflect that. We respect and accept the difference from all, and we will play a major role in giving back to the society with civic quality. And without further ado, I would like to invite my Deputy President of VCP to introduce himself. Please.
Thank you to Muhammad Ismail Fizuddin for inviting me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Aidit and I'm competing for the SRC 2022 Deputy President seat. On behalf of VCP, we designed, created, and proposed 7 attainable manifestos that serve the needs of the students. We know that students want change, and our manifestos reflect that. We respect and accept the difference from all, and we will play a major role in giving back to the community with civic quality. The first manifesto is risk transparency. Well, risk transparency is a short-term manifesto that suits the current needs, ambiguous information, and rumors about the spiking COVID-19 cases in UTP have brought fear to many students. We at VCP believe that the students have the rights to know the risks that they are currently facing. Adhering to the health and security executive regulation on campus. Thus, we are here to voice out your rights. Everyone is aware of the COVID-19 outbreak on campus. But do any of you know about the latest COVID cases? How many students are currently quarantined? The implementation could be done with the help of Center for Student Experience and COVID Response Team. Maybe you might think that the one in charge of the calculation of the numbers is only CRT, but no, it's also involving CSE and also the DVSA. The info could be updated through SRC website and also through the TV that provided in UTP at the cafes in collaboration with CRT under the UVET program. Next. Introducing to you the Edu for You. We listen the hardship and difficulties brought up by UTP students that feel their online learning experience are being compromised. On this issue, we hold our firm ground to invoke for academic support such as internet accessibility, speak out of fire assessment, empowering of ready-made platform to provide access to relevant learning materials like past year question and solutions. Speaking of final assessment, 76.34% of students have voted for extended assignment for 24 hours based on our survey form that have been shown in the slides just now. There are other choices like EA with only 12 hours, online final exam, and also physical final examination. This data is based on our Voice of Student survey form, consists of 161 respondents so far. All right, regarding the internet accessibility, imagine how hard it is to struggle with online classes and meeting when the internet connectivity is fluctuating or down. For your information, the UTP connection is fast somehow when it comes to the peak hour. The connection have become fluctuated, giving problem to the network. Not just that, we all agree that most efficient way to study is by having sufficient learning resources and reviewing past year question, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is very difficult for students to access past year question, right? Yes. Hence, we can utilize ready-made platform like SRC website that gather all the past year paper for each subject, right? Next. Introducing to you new UTP. Looking forward to a new UTP. Now you might be wondering, what is new UTP? New UTP is an amendment of the current rules and regulations, as we at VCP believe that it is necessary for some changes to be implemented to these old rules. Based on our survey conducted, we found that foundation students are experiencing difficulty when it comes to getting to their physical classes. This is because of the restriction for bringing cars and also motorcycles. However, we know that they are not allowed for that. Our act of change is to simply remove this rule, as it is very difficult for the foundation students to get from one class to another. Another example of this rule is the restriction of bringing in certain electrical appliances such as mini fridge or an air conditioner, for example. Our solution to overcoming these restrictions is for the students to register their appliances with HSE and to get a sticker of approval from PMME. How we plan to implement the amendments of this rule is to invite the opposition party leaders, volunteering students, and also the required management staff to help us in achieving these amendments. Practically, PCP has already implemented an amendment to a rule which was the dress code back in our 2020 tenure, which consisted of 6 months worth of discussion session. Next. Next.
Okay, now we're going to the number 4 manifesto, and I would like to ask you, what if your metric card is actually a smart card? Quick question, what do you think of your metric card? And then I believe that many of us will say it's our student ID card, of course, the green color one with your face, the name, and also the chip. There is chip, there's none. Okay, so what if I say that your metric card can be a smart card that you can be used for any Petronas merchandise? Sound cool, isn't it? And we from Varsity Civic Party are going to have a collaboration with Petronas themselves in empowering your perks as UTP student, a University Technology Petronas student, to get the bonus point wherever you use Petronas services and appliances. And we realize that this is what we are going to have and will be utilizing in accessing all UTP facilities and also have the privilege to most of the Petronas subsidiary. And we will start this with the UTP main gate, replacing the old and inconvenience, I would say, the ITMS temporary development program. If you want to know, the U-Trace, which can reduce the contact with security personnel and hastening the process during the peak hours, saving your time. You don't want to have your times stuck in the traffic congestion at the main gate. You like to prefer to have stuck in outside, where that is much better if you can see the scenery, but not in the UTP main gate itself. So that's for our number 4 manifesto. And time is gold. The first cashless vending machine that will be installed in UTP. And there is more will be going on. And I would like to ask you, have you ever passed through a vending machine, but this time you got no cash? Because we are living in UTP where all the transactions is being done online. We are using our e-wallet. And yes, same here. I have ever passed the vending machine and I don't have any ringgits in my pocket. And introducing to you the first cashless vending machine. And there is more to go. There is no more stress from your ringgit after this being rejected by the machine. And it's so easy to do this. It's selecting your item, scan for payment, and then you can enjoy the treat. This is not only focusing for the business of the other technopreneurship events, but also for the students who are starving in the night. And we do care for you under this number 4 manifesto of the UTP Smart.
Well, VCP also bring you hopes. Next. That the financial stability of B40 families were affected and lead to the difficulty to the well-being of the students, which affects the mental health of the students. Hope is designed to take care of students' welfare, especially during COVID-19. To ensure UTP students' welfare are always attended to, VCP aspires to ease and help the process of initiating an emergency fundraising campaign as a means of relieving the burden of students affected by incidents, regardless of being either inside or outside campus. As a measure to accommodate and provide a platform for students to generate income as well as gaining experience in regards to, VCP aims to help in fostering business, jobs on campus, and entrepreneurship culture, whilst making sure that significant support and facilities required are well provided. How do we plan to achieve this? You might wonder. We plan to allocate budget for students, welfare, and foster business and entrepreneurship culture among UTP students and provide them facilities to support their business in exchange for at least 6% of the profit will be channeled to UTP students' welfare. But you may be asking again, where might we getting these funds from? In UTP, we have CSE, we have TAZU, and UTP Prihatin to take care of the student welfare. Not just that, we also have certain fundraising bodies in UTP, but they are not contributing anything to UTP students. We want to tackle this issue seriously. So from Hope, that's all. And I would like to pass back to ISPA. VCP is your hope.
Thank you. So the number 6, we are going for UTP, right? Is that tired of walking to your class? Say no more, because now we are greeting from the UTP Varsity Civic Party, and this we like to introduce to you. Getting from the UTP residential village to the academic block can be tough for UTPians. Come on, we're not going for Olympics marathon. How long does it take for you to walk from your RV to academic block? Well, for me, it's exhausting. About 30 minutes walk exercise on average. And I would like to present to you the UTP Ride, a rental service to provide you an exciting way to explore the campus. The mobility program, which could also resolve the dreaded parking issues, thus enhancing the campus life for every UTPians in sustainable commuting. And this is not only giving the benefit to the UTP student itself, but also to the UTP families, your parents, your child, and also maybe your partners. We care about your micro mobility. Thus, we're introducing to you a less exhausting option, the UTP Ride, a rental service for your mobility across the UTP. Not only it's healthy, but it's also fun. So, a mobility program which could also resolve the parking issue is definitely a yes from Varsity Civic Party. And next, we would like to have the number 7 manifesto, which is the Varsity Cafe. There's nothing more important for students than food. We are doing our EA, we will starve. We are doing our test, we hungry. We felt aftermath of the EA, aftermath of the test, we do feel hungry. But not going back to the next future. We are talking about now. We are doing our week 7, week 8. So there's nothing more important for you. Have you ever find that the food served in UTP cafes lack in variety? I'm not speaking of hygiene. I'm just speak about the variety. And then Varsity Cafe is the solution to your menu monotony with the collaboration of PMMD and HSE. We have done the collaboration with them. We have engaged with them. What is happening? Why there's vendor leaving the UTP, and why is the vendor that's not caring about the hygienic? And with this manifesto, Varsity Cafe, we do care about your food, about your stomach. And with the happy stomach, we live happy students in UTP. And that's all for our 7 manifestos for our student election. I will recap back. We do have 7 manifestos, which are the first one, the risk transparency, which we more focusing about the CRT case. The so-called, we like to have the real-time data from the CRT to being published, to being released to the students. We deserve the rights to know what's happening to mitigate what the COVID-19 is happening right now. And the second one, EDU for you, where we highlight the causes of what students is voicing out. The final assessment, the Wi-Fi, and also the learning deliveries. And the third one, the new UTP, the amendments on the all regulation that has been in UTP since 1997. It's been 25 years and we haven't changed our regulations. How can we be the first private university in Malaysia with all regulations, and the current lifestyle, is it suit enough for you to have this kind of regulations? And number 4, we have UTP Smart, where we encourage, we like to empower the perks of UTP students. The University Technology Petronas itself. The Petronas naming, if you ask your uncles where you were studying in UTP, or the one you doing your Petronas Palm, right? But then you never get the benefits from the Petronas Palm itself. And this is what we like to have for you, the UTP students. The number 5, hope. which we do care about your welfare, about what is happening on you during in the campus and also at your home. UTP right, where we care about mobility program in UTP, and we do know what is going to be launched in UTP in this upcoming semester, in the next upcoming semester, and that's why we propose the UTP right program. And the seventh one and the last one, Varsity Cafe, where we do care about your stomach, we do care about your something that you crave for something. You're not going to have some like same nasi goreng and also the maybe sometimes we have nasi goreng with some chicken that's been that approaching their limits, approaching their expired. So we don't want to have that again and again in UTP. We like to have a better university experience for every student in having the campus life. And that's for 7 manifestos from BCP.
Thank you, BCP, for the energetic presentation. Moving on to the next agenda, we open the floor to the audience for the Q&A session. Please be reminded that only one question per attendee. If you have a question for BCP, you may raise hand and unmute yourself. First, I would like to invite Muhammad Shukri Afifi to ask question for BCP.
Hello, can you hear me? So I want to ask a question regarding your manifesto number 4, which is metric card to smart card. So I personally think this manifesto is a great idea, but have you discussed this with Petronas? Because I realized that you mentioned about bonus point. So what if this manifesto is rejected by Petronas? So what would you gonna do about this? Just this manifesto will be only become a memory? So yeah, that's my question.
Thank you. Shukri Afifi, is that you? Okay, Shukri Afifi, okay. Have you ever know where I came from previously before I'm contesting for VCP for this student election? I'm from the TEC program from my foundation second. I've been 6 semester in the TEC where we do have connection with the, and also networking with the multinational companies. And I do have myself in my phone right now the actual number of the Petronas and also the officers from the Petronas Dagangan Berhad. And this is not an issue. This is not a false promise that we would like to have for every student. This is the promise that this is the manifestos that can be conducted. We have discussed with the management and also I have discussed with my team. Then this is executable with the UTP is aging into the 25th Silver Jubilee. This is a manifesto that can be done in our tenure. Thank you.
All right,
Does that mean,
next.
the Petronas? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
All right, next I will invite Muhammad Aiman to ask question for BCP.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. You guys can hear me? Yeah, okay, I'm Aiman Tash. So actually I have 2 questions here. So regarding to the Varsity Cafe, where you guys plan to make it, where is it? And does this will disturb the cafe business? So that's the first question. And then the second question is, as you guys know, the pricing, you guys plan to make a variety of food, right? So as the pricing right now, pricing of food right now is spiking. So did you guys have a strategy to cope with the high pricing? That's my question. There's 2 questions there.
Thank you, Aiman, for your question. You do have 2. I would like to recap back. The first one, I would like to where the UTP Varsity Cafe be, and the second one, the price. Okay, I would like to answer the second one first, the price. I would like to mention to you, earlier we have mentioned, we have collaboration with PMMD, the one who's handling the vendor for every UTP village cafes, and also the HSE. We are going to have, for a better food, there comes a better price. There comes a price. But then with every cafes competing for a better food, there will be a competition of food prices where there can be decline. And this is what we're going to have, a better competition amongst the UTP village cafes, not among the UTP students to choose which one of village that we would like to have. We would like to have the competition amongst the UTP village cafe owners itself, so that they can decline they can reduce the price for every, because if you know there is demand, there will also be come. How we would like to answer your question number 2 about the price. And number 1, you are speaking about the where we like to have the UTP Varsity Cafe. Actually, if you like to know, we have engaged with the CSD, CCD, and also CSE. There is actually a concept cafe implementing in UTP, but that cannot be done because the previous tenure, the previous tenure haven't engaged with this concept. And this what we have, the Varsity Cafe for every. I would like to give you an example for V5 Cafe actually. That's a cafe for a sports cafe. That's come the design and also the seating. It's actually exclusively for sports students. After they are sweating, they just duduk, and then it's open concept. So that's what we're going to have. We're going to benefit the UTP concept cafe itself, and into if we need to relocate, that can be done because the cafe itself is also in our voice of student hands and also PMMD. If we want to relocate them, they can be relocated. And if you like to know as well, there is also a lot of cafe is emptying right now. I think there is if you go to B1, there is no cafe there. There's only seat, there's only chair. You are not drinking the tap water. You're not drinking that. So that V1 cafe, it's empty. V2 cafe, there is 2 cafe, but now there is only one, where the other one is moving to the V3. And also we do have V4, but the V4 cafe is also, we can put more choices at there. And this is where the Varsity Cafe manifesto came. And we do care about you, and we do make this list of interest of vendors that are going into UTP itself. I hope that answers your question.
All right, thank you, Aiman. Next, I will invite Alif Malik to ask question for VCP.
Okay, thank you, Aisha. Okay, so I have a question for your last manifesto also. You've mentioned that you have discussed with PMMD and HSE, but you did not mention that you have this. So this means you have not discussed. Sorry, this means you have not discussed with RV. So you have not discussed with residential village lah. Because as to what our previous tenure is concerned, can you hear me?
I'm sorry, my connection, my connection, I believe, my connection is fluctuating last. Can you repeat?
Okay. So you've mentioned that you have engaged with PMMD and HSE, but you did not mention with RV. So this means that you haven't engaged with a residential village. Because it's my attention that during our past tenure, cafe is handled fully by RV also. So does RV agree to this? And also, the question here, the current vendors have already signed a contract. So does this mean that you will also overlap their contract, because the contract says 3 to 5 years? Also, for the new vendor to come in, are they willing to sign a contract of 3 to 5 years? That is what I know from RV lah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alif Malik. You are speaking about breaching contract. And I would like to ask you, do you know the clause in the contract itself? Have you ever read the clause in the contract? Have you ever RV shared with the SRC members the clause in the contract? And because we, as you mentioned earlier, we are the stakeholders. We are the one who going to benefit the UTP management itself. From us, the money came, and to us, we should be benefit. And have you ever read the clause for the contract?
No, I haven't, but I have been in contact with Encik Shah, RV Dining. So he has explained to me that the contract is signed for 3 to 5 years. And also there is also, apa nama tu? 3 to 5 years. And also there will be kena bayar pampasan if they breach the contract.
Okay, have you ever heard the Pocket D one, the Pocket D restaurant, where they didn't pay for their what we call it, the rental fees? They just run away from UTP, and that's happening. and you are still saying we should follow the contract. We are not saying that breaching of contract is forbidden, is eligible, but we are saying that we are the stakeholders. We need to being appreciate from what UTP facilities is going to provide to us. And basically, if they do, they I would say underperform, we can change them from the UTP. We are private university number 1 in Malaysia. I would like to repeat, number 1 in Malaysia. But then, if the service provided by UTP Cafe itself is problematic, we cannot sustain with that kind of service owners.
Okay, so do you suggest that other cafe vendors do that unethical thing again? You want them to do it also?
Am I mentioning that other village cafe will do that? I just mentioning the pocket the restaurant is running from paying the rental fees. I'm not mentioning others, but then there is the possibilities. I would like to appreciate your concern. We have the possibilities to run away from the UTP, but then that comes where the HSE and the security should enhance their security at the UTP main gate. The UTP where we like to enter UTP, there is 2 checkpoints, UTP main gate and the gate 3. If they run away from UTP, they need to take down their appliances, their kitchen. They're not going to left. If they're going to left, that can be appreciated from the RV itself to sold into the recycle. That can be benefit that going back into the UTP students funding. And
Okay, so you have not like engaged with RV, right? So you have no confirmation on whether you can implement another cafe also, the Vice City Cafe, because you have not engaged with RV. Am I correct?
Okay, I would like to ask you again. Who is the owner? Who is doing the contract? Is it PMMD or RV?
The contract is yes, I know. The contract is PMMD, but RV is the one handling the cafes.
RV handling the cafe.
Yes, because V5 Cafe and Manja Burger, they that time when during lockdown when you guys were not around, they had to shut down because their contract has expired, and the contract is submitted to RV, to Puan Kartini herself. Okay, thank you. And I think I pass it to the next person lah.
Alright, okay, I will give one last person to ask question. So the last person, I will invite Shahida Nafisha to ask question for PCP. Only one question per attendee.
Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Alright, so I would like to ask regarding the Edu2U. We all know that our study materials have their own copyrights that prevent us from freely sharing our slides and papers. So may I know how is it possible to have a platform to easily access academic materials easily? Thank you.
I'm sorry, Isma, you are muted.
Okay, this question I will be answering because this is under my presentation regarding the copyright issue, right? Because of the slides presentation in provided for students materials having copyrights of UTP itself. Somehow, we need to think back and we need to identify back who are benefited by that slides. Are the outsiders from other universities going to use that slide even though that slide is not accordingly similar to their syllabus? So basically, that thing to me, like I give you an example. As a UTP student, are you going to have resources from Unitang for studying your slides? Because most of the time we know that the quizzes come from your slide itself, right? From UTP slide itself. And then go back to the current situation for the copyright itself. Right. So for the copyright itself, this thing will be collaborated with registry under examination part and academic parts, and then we as a SRC, future SRC, will be supervising this one, and then we will be implementing, and then we'll be uploading this files in the UTP SRC website, right? And then we only distribute it for the student in need. So like to me, there's no issue for this.
All right, thank you, VCP. That will be the end of the Q&A session for VCP party. Now, let's give all the party's representatives a big applause as they work hard for tonight's presentations. Before we end today's event, I would like to invite everyone to switch on their camera for the photography session. I will give everyone 2 minutes to be ready. I hope everyone can participate in this session. Okay, I think everyone's ready. Okay. Okay, everybody smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, another freestyle. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, before we end our session, we hope you can scan the QR code as shown in the slide or fill in the feedback form in the chat box. Your feedback is important to us. With that, our Manifesto Night has come to an end. We, the whole UTP Election Secretariat Committees, would like to thank all of you for taking time off your busy schedule to join us tonight. Your support is very much appreciated, and we hope we can see you again in the next pre-election event, which is the Town Hall Session 2022. Thank you.